20 career finishing scandals. Get ready to dive into the shocking downfall of 20 celebrities whose careers hit a screeching halt due to scandalous turns. From beloved icons to rising stars, we're unveiling the jaw-dropping moments that changed their worlds forever. Are you prepared to face the truth behind the headlines? Buckle up, because this is a roller coaster ride through fame's dark side on Iconic Inside. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, famed for his portrayal of Dr. Cliff Huxtable on the popular television show The Cosby Show, experienced a dramatic decline in his career and reputation during the 2010s as a result of numerous sexual assault allegations that spanned several decades. This shift began with a 2014 comedy performance by Hannibal Buress, who publicly labeled Cosby as a rapist during his act, prompting his audience to search for information on the matter online. Following Buress's remarks, which quickly spread online, an increasing number of women began to share their experiences of sexual assault involving Cosby. The number of accusers grew to over 60, with the alleged incidents occurring between the 1960s and the 2000s. Many of the women claimed that Cosby had sexually assaulted them after drugging them. In 2018, Cosby was convicted and sentenced to a prison term of 3 to 10 years for the aggravated indecent assault of Andrea Constand in 2004. Buress's forecast about Cosby's image as America's dad proved accurate, as the impact of the allegations led to his name being linked to serial rapist by one of his accusers, overshadowing his famous TV character. After serving nearly 3 years behind bars, Cosby's conviction was annulled in 2021 on the grounds that his due process rights had been violated. Despite this legal reversal, his professional and personal reputation has been left in ruins, with no new acting opportunities or sponsorships forthcoming. The scandal has caused lasting harm to the public's perception of Cosby, who was once celebrated as a groundbreaking African-American figure in the entertainment industry. His legacy, once illustrious, has been marred by the controversies that led to his public disgrace. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, once a prominent and influential Hollywood figure due to his co-founding of the successful Miramax and the Weinstein Company, saw his reputation and legacy severely damaged in 2017 when he faced sexual harassment and assault allegations from more than 80 women. This scandal catalyzed the global #MeToo movement. In October 2017, investigative journalism by the New York Times and the New Yorker revealed Weinstein's alleged misconduct spanning several decades. The reports detailed a pattern of behavior that included inappropriate advances, coercive tactics, and instances of rape. As a result of these exposés, Weinstein was ousted from his company and removed from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. The continuous emergence of additional women sharing similar experiences led to the collapse of his significant influence in the film industry. In 2020, Harvey Weinstein was convicted of 2 felonies, rape in the 3rd degree and a criminal sexual act, which led to a 23-year prison sentence. However, this conviction was overturned on appeal in 2024 due to procedural errors. Despite this, he was subsequently sentenced to an additional 16 years in prison after being found guilty in Los Angeles of 1 count of rape and 2 counts of sexual assault. Weinstein remains in prison with his career and reputation completely ruined. He is no longer associated with film production or industry events and may face further legal actions and potential new charges. The once influential producer's legacy has been permanently marred by the allegations and convictions that have deeply impacted the entertainment industry. Justice served or more to be done? Comment yes if you believe Harvey Weinstein's sentence was fitting, or no if you think more needs to be done to address the systemic issue of sexual harassment and assault in Hollywood. Let's continue the conversation and create a culture of accountability. R. Kelly. R. Kelly, a multi-Grammy award-winning R&B singer with over 75 million records sold globally, experienced a dramatic fall from grace due to long-standing accusations of sexual misconduct and abuse. Despite his remarkable success and recognition as the top R&B male artist of the 1990s, Kelly's reputation was consistently marred by allegations of sexual abuse, some involving underage individuals. The 2019 documentary Surviving R. Kelly brought renewed attention to these allegations, leading RCA Records to end their contract with the singer. This increased public scrutiny spurred further investigations by law enforcement agencies, culminating in Kelly's arrest and subsequent convictions on multiple charges. In 2021, R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering and Mann Act violations during a federal trial in New York, even though he insisted on his innocence. Following the conviction, he received a 30-year prison sentence. With another trial in 2023, Kelly's music career has essentially ended, as his tracks have been removed from major streaming platforms and radio stations. Due to the scandals, Kelly has lost many business partnerships and endorsement agreements, and his reputation has been severely and likely irreversibly damaged. A family member of one of the victims expressed the impact on the broader community, saying, "It's a bad day for hip-hop, for the culture of black people, because when one look bad, we all look bad." Kanye West. Kanye West, a highly influential figure in the music industry as a rapper, producer, and fashion designer, has often been at the center of controversies during his notable career. However, the particular backlash he encountered in 2022 for wearing a White Lives Matter shirt and making anti-Semitic remarks marked a significant turning point, casting doubt on his future in both music and fashion. Among West's anti-Semitic remarks was a tweet in which he claimed he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. This led to his suspension from Twitter and Instagram. The controversy had further repercussions, including his dismissal by his talent agency CAA and the shelving of a completed documentary about him. Additionally, Adidas, Gap, and Balenciaga all cut their ties with West, which resulted in him losing his billionaire status and being removed from Forbes' list of billionaires. The repercussions of West's actions have been far-reaching, with many former collaborators and fellow artists publicly denouncing him. Adidas reported an expected loss of around $535 million in profit, and West's own net worth is said to have dropped by an astonishing $1.5 billion. An industry executive noted the implications of associating with West, stating, "Whether intentional or not, by booking Kanye at this point in time, you're endorsing his words. He needs to walk away from what he said before most venues would work with him." West's public image has suffered greatly, with his reputation significantly marred by the widespread backlash. He is now confronted with the possibility of legal action and financial consequences, as well as an unpredictable future in the music and fashion sectors that he once significantly influenced. The lasting effects of his controversial behavior have had a profound impact on both his career and legacy. Love this video? Show some love with a like and a subscribe. Hate it? A like would still be awesome, and your feedback in the comments will help me improve. Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett, recognized for playing Jamal Lyon on the television series Empire, saw his career significantly impacted by a scandal in 2019, where he falsely claimed to be the target of a hate crime. Initially, Smollett alleged that he suffered a racist and homophobic assault in Chicago, but the investigation quickly shifted, leading to charges against him for filing a false police report. Consequently, Smollett was dismissed from Empire and became the subject of broad criticism. In December 2021, he was convicted of 5 felony counts of disorderly conduct. In March 2022, he was sentenced to 150 days in jail, 30 months of probation, and was ordered to pay $120,106 in restitution, along with a $25,000 fine. During the sentencing, Judge James Lynn criticized Smollett, describing him as narcissistic, selfish, and arrogant. Public relations professionals consider Smollett's acting career to be essentially at an end, with his reputation severely damaged. He has lost out on potential acting roles and endorsement opportunities. Smollett has been widely mocked and branded as dishonest. Even if he is successful in his appeal, the damage to his reputation is considered to be irreparable. As one expert remarked, until people believe he did not actually do this, a lot of production houses and networks will steer clear of him. Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly, previously the highest-rated host in cable news, experienced a rapid and disgraceful departure from his role at Fox News after multiple allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced. The controversy began with a New York Times report revealing that Fox News and 21st Century Fox had consistently backed O'Reilly, even after settling with 5 women who accused him of sexual harassment or other misconduct, totaling approximately $13 million. Some of these settlements were as old as 2004, with 2 taking place following the resignation of Roger Ailes, the former Fox News head, over similar allegations. Despite O'Reilly's insistence that he had not engaged in any misconduct, the disclosures sparked an immediate and forceful response, prompting over 50 advertisers to pull their support from his program. Within the company, female staff members expressed their discontent and doubted the sincerity of top executives in fostering a workplace environment based on trust and respect. In the end, the Murdoch family, who controlled 21st Century Fox, made the decision regarding O'Reilly's tenure at the network, and a thorough review confirmed multiple complaints of inappropriate behavior against him. In an official announcement, 21st Century Fox confirmed O'Reilly's exit from Fox News, declaring that he would not be rejoining the network. The collapse of Fox's leading and most lucrative personality signified the conclusion of O'Reilly's 20-year run with the network. Renowned for his forceful presence and conservative views, O'Reilly had engaged viewers with his contentious approach and readiness to confront authority and double standards. Nevertheless, the escalating accusations of harassment, coupled with the withdrawal of advertising dollars, inevitably resulted in his ousting, marring his reputation and concluding his career in mainstream media. In the aftermath, O'Reilly has persisted in hosting a podcast and authoring books, sustaining a contentious profile, albeit with a markedly reduced impact and visibility. Stick with me for a minute. If you're not loving this video, tell me what's not working for you in the comments. I'm all ears. Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr, celebrated for her role in the hit sitcom Roseanne, encountered a rapid and disgraceful decline in 2018 after a racist tweet culminated in the cancellation of her show's revival. Having enjoyed a significant career revival with the return of her well-known series, Barr became the focal point of controversy when she posted a tweet that compared Valerie Jarrett, a former senior advisor to President Barack Obama, to a character from the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes. The response was instantaneous and extensive, with ABC Entertainment President Channing Dungey labeling Barr's tweet as abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values. Promptly, the network made the rare decision to cancel the flourishing Roseanne reboot, notwithstanding its remarkable viewership and financial forecasts. Barr's co-stars, including Sarah Gilbert, also quickly disavowed her comments, with Gilbert asserting that Barr's recent comments about Valerie Jarrett and so much more are abhorrent and do not reflect the beliefs of our cast and crew or anyone associated with our show. The repercussions of Barr's tweet severely impaired her public image and effectively terminated her mainstream television career. As she expressed, "It cost me everything." Despite her efforts to apologize and clarify her actions, Barr found herself largely shunned by the industry, with her colleagues and partners distancing themselves from her. Barr's subsequent attempts to make a comeback, including a stand-up special and a documentary, have achieved limited success as she continues to be a contentious figure, striving to recapture her previous platform and influence. Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer, a prominent co-host of NBC's Today show for many years, experienced a dramatic fall from grace in 2017 when he was accused of sexual harassment by several women. These allegations emerged during the #MeToo movement and resulted in Lauer's sudden dismissal from NBC. As NBC News chairman Andy Lack disclosed in a letter to employees, Lauer faced accusations of inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace from a female colleague, and the network had reason to believe this may not have been an isolated incident. Lauer's reputation was severely damaged and his television career came to an end. Following the scandal, his wife, Annette Roque, sought divorce and Lauer withdrew from public life. A source informed Entertainment Tonight that Lauer doesn't regret his inappropriate behavior daily and misses the life he once had, acknowledging that he will likely never regain his previous lifestyle. Lauer's former co-workers, such as Savannah Guthrie and Al Roker, have largely severed connections with him. Guthrie reflected, "I think what I realized is that there was a side of Matt I never really knew. Lauer's attempts to make a comeback have been hindered, and according to his friend Bryant Gumbel, the former anchor seems disinterested in returning to television, preferring to concentrate on his personal life and spending time with his children. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, recognized for his performances in movies such as Platoon and the television sitcom 2.5 Men, has had a career rife with challenges due to his well-publicized battles with substance abuse and mental health. At the peak of his success, Sheen was among the most highly compensated actors on TV, receiving $1.8 million per episode for his role in 2.5 Men. However, his position on the show came to an end in 2011 when he made derogatory comments about the show's creator, Chuck Lauer. The termination of Sheen's involvement with 2.5 Men represented a pivotal moment in his professional journey, as his struggles with substance abuse and unpredictable conduct had been impacting his work for a while. In January 2011, the show's production was temporarily suspended so that Sheen could participate in a residential substance rehabilitation program, marking his third attempt at rehab within a year. Subsequently, in February, CBS decided to cancel the final 4 episodes of the season in response to Sheen's public derogatory remarks about Lauer. Following his dismissal from 2.5 Men, Charlie Sheen's career trajectory has taken a downturn, characterized by a decrease in acting opportunities and public engagements. His once bright star has lost its luster, and his reputation has suffered due to continuous battles with substance abuse and mental health challenges. Sheen's most recent acting role was in 2017, and he has not featured in any significant films or television series since that time. Despite these personal and professional obstacles, Sheen continues to be a prominent figure in mainstream culture. In 2015, he openly disclosed his HIV-positive status, which contributed to a heightened awareness and uptake of HIV prevention and testing, an impact referred to as the Charlie Sheen effect. However, his career has not yet rebounded from the various scandals and controversies that have dogged him in recent years. Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer, recognized for his performances in films such as The Social Network and Call Me By Your Name, encountered a series of ruinous scandals in 2021 that effectively concluded his Hollywood career. Accusations of sexual assault and abuse from multiple women, including Effie Angelova, Courtney Vucekovich, and Paige Lorenz, prompted an extensive investigation by the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. In response to these allegations, Hammer's attorney, Andrew Brettler, insisted that Hammer's relationships were completely consensual, discussed and agreed upon in advance, and mutually participatory. Hammer's professional life started to disintegrate as he was abandoned by his talent agency, WME, and dismissed from various projects such as The Offer and Gun Wedding. His reputation was critically harmed, and he incurred considerable financial losses. In an airmail interview, Hammer admitted to past trauma and the power dynamics in his relationships, but refuted the allegations of sexual misconduct. Despite his efforts to restore his image, his Hollywood career was effectively terminated, and he continues to be enmeshed in controversy. Hammer's public image was marred, and he faced possible legal repercussions. His financial situation was critical, with reports indicating he owed over $60,000 to American Express. His marriage to Elizabeth Chambers also dissolved, and he has been working as a sober companion and in a timeshare position to support himself. The scandal has had a lasting effect on both his professional and personal life, with his Hollywood career now seen as nowhere and his reputation inextricably damaged. Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong, the renowned former American professional cyclist, was lauded as a sporting hero for his extraordinary accomplishments, including an unprecedented 7 consecutive Tour de France wins from 1999 to 2005. Yet his stellar career was overshadowed by recurring accusations of doping, which he consistently denied for over 10 years. In 2012, the USADA officially accused Armstrong of using, possessing, and trafficking banned performance-enhancing substances, as well as engaging in a cover-up of these violations. Armstrong decided not to contest the charges, leading to the removal of all his titles since 1998, encompassing his 7 Tour de France triumphs and an Olympic medal. In a 2013 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Armstrong confessed to doping, acknowledging the myth of his perfect story. The scandal's repercussions were severe, costing Armstrong significant endorsement deals and resulting in a $5 million settlement with the US government. His once glowing reputation suffered, and the legacy of his cycling achievements was cast under a cloud of doubt. Stephen Collins. Stephen Collins, celebrated for his portrayal of the endearing pastor Eric Camden on the enduring television series Seventh Heaven, witnessed the collapse of his career and reputation after a jarring disclosure in 2014. A leaked recording from a confidential therapy session captured Collins confessing to sexually abusing several underage girls across a period of 2 decades, from 1973 to 1994. This deeply troubling admission led to extensive public indignation and denunciation from both the general public and the entertainment community. In response, Collins was swiftly dismissed from multiple acting engagements, including a part in the movie Ted 2 Inches and a cameo on the television series Scandal. His talent agency, APA, also cut all connections with him, effectively rendering the once esteemed actor persona non grata in Hollywood. Collins's public persona was permanently marred, with his image as the compassionate and virtuous television clergyman now perpetually eclipsed by the grave accusations. In the wake of these events, Collins predominantly withdrew from the public eye, relocating to Iowa and keeping a low profile. He accepted responsibility for his actions, expressing, "I did something terribly wrong that I deeply regret. I have been working to atone for it ever since." However, the damage had already been inflicted, and Collins's once thriving Hollywood career had come to a sudden and catastrophic halt. Jared Fogle. Jared Fogle, who was once celebrated as the representative of Subway due to his inspiring weight loss story, experienced a rapid and devastating collapse of his public persona and career following a scandalous event in 2015. Fogle's fame was based on a narrative of health and personal change, with Subway's sandwiches being credited for his significant weight loss of 245 pounds. However, this image was dramatically shattered when his home was searched by the FBI, revealing a deeply troubling reality. Fogle was arrested and later pleaded guilty to serious crimes involving minors, which included the possession and distribution of child pornography, as well as traveling across state lines for the purpose of engaging in commercial sex with a minor. Following these shocking revelations, Subway immediately cut all connections with Fogle, abruptly ending a 16-year partnership. Fogle acknowledged his actions, stating, "I royally screwed up and I have to live with that for the rest of my life." The downfall was both rapid and severe for Fogle, whose previously positive image was entirely demolished. He received a sentence of 15 years and 8 months in federal prison, with a projected release date set for March 24, 2029. Paula Deen. Paula Deen, a celebrity chef renowned for her decadent Southern cuisine and television programs, became entangled in a significant controversy in 2013 that ultimately disrupted her career trajectory. A legal dispute brought to light Deen's admission of having used racially insensitive language in the past, including the N-word. During a deposition, Deen acknowledged that she had indeed employed the racial slur, although she insisted it had been many years since such usage. The lawsuit also suggested that Deen and her brother had contemplated a Southern plantation theme for an event with an all-black waiting staff as part of the concept. The disclosures ignited a substantial public backlash, with numerous individuals criticizing Deen's behavior. Consequently, the Food Network, which had featured Deen's shows for more than 10 years, declared that they would not be extending her contract. Deen issued an apology, posting 2 online videos where she stated that inappropriate, hurtful language is totally unacceptable, and emphasized that your color of your skin, your religion, your sexual preference does not matter to me. However, her reputation had already suffered irreversible harm, and Deen forfeited several sponsorships and endorsement agreements as a consequence of the scandal. In the years following, Deen has endeavored to re-establish her career, but has encountered difficulties in attaining the same level of acclaim and popularity she enjoyed before the controversy. Mark Salling. Mark Salling, recognized as an American actor and musician, gained prominence for his role as Noah Puck Puckerman on the acclaimed musical TV series Glee, which aired from 2009 to 2015. His portrayal of the character, who was both rebellious and endearing, brought him into the spotlight. Nonetheless, Salling's career was abruptly cut short when he was apprehended in 2015 on accusations of possessing child pornography. Court documents revealed that Salling possessed a substantial collection of images and videos that depicted the sexual exploitation of minors on his personal electronic devices. His arrest at his Los Angeles residence came after one of his former girlfriends alerted the authorities about the inappropriate content. Consequently, Salling was charged with receiving and possessing child pornography, which led to universal disapproval and his removal from the miniseries Gods and Secrets. The court documents indicated defendant knowingly possessed matters which the defendant knew contained visual depictions of minors engaged in sexually explicit conduct. In 2017, Salling entered a guilty plea as part of a plea agreement, which included the possibility of serving a prison term of 4 to 7 years, registering as a sex offender, and compensating his victims. Tragically, before his sentencing could take place, Salling took his own life in January 2018 at the age of 35. His legal representative highlighted that Salling was dedicated to accepting responsibility for his actions and pursuing atonement. But his Hollywood career had already met a sudden and disastrous conclusion. Michael Richards. Michael Richards, widely recognized for his memorable role as Cosmo Kramer on the popular sitcom Seinfeld, became embroiled in a scandal in 2006 that significantly altered his life's direction. During a stand-up performance at the Laugh Factory in West Hollywood, Richards engaged in a racially offensive outburst, repeatedly uttering the N-word in response to hecklers. The incident was captured on video and quickly spread online, leading to widespread outrage and public disapproval. Following the incident, Richards offered a sincere apology on The Late Show with David Letterman, expressing regret for his actions and their consequences. However, the damage to his professional reputation was too severe to overcome. Richards later stated, "I'm not racist. I have nothing against black people." He explained that the heckler's comment about his performance resonated with his own self-doubts, leading to a desire to retaliate. Richards' career could not be restored, and he subsequently retired from stand-up comedy, making only occasional acting appearances. In a recent interview, the 74-year-old discussed the personal impact of the scandal, admitting to undergoing years of psychoanalysis to explore the origins of his anger and insecurities. He acknowledged the power of anger and his decision to confront it rather than avoid it. As Richards prepares to release his memoir, Entrances and Exits, he contemplates the unpredictability of life and the constant fluctuation between positive and negative experiences. He concluded, "Life is always an up and a down. I continue to work through the day and the night, the light and the dark that I am." Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner, once a prominent U.S. congressman from New York, was initially recognized for his fervent political advocacy, notably his 2010 address championing healthcare for 9/11's first responders. However, his political trajectory took a sharp turn with a string of scandals centered around inappropriate online interactions and sexting with various women. The first scandal in 2011 culminated in Weiner's resignation from Congress, after it emerged that he had shared explicit images with multiple women. Weiner's efforts to recover his political standing, including a 2013 run for New York City mayor, were continually undermined by recurring scandals. In 2017, he admitted guilt to transferring obscene material to a minor, earning him a 21-month prison sentence. These events effectively ended Weiner's political career and left his reputation in disrepute. The personal impact of his actions was further highlighted when his wife, Huma Abedin, initiated divorce proceedings before Weiner's guilty plea. Pete Rose. Pete Rose, a celebrated Major League Baseball player and manager, saw his illustrious career marred by a scandal that emerged in 1989. Rose, often called Charlie Hustle due to his tenacious playing style, had accumulated an unmatched total of 4,256 hits throughout his 24-year career, solidifying his reputation as one of the sport's most exceptional players. In 1989, an MLB investigation disclosed that Rose had been placing bets on baseball games, even those involving his own team, the Cincinnati Reds, while he was their manager. This discovery resulted in a permanent ban from baseball for Rose, a decision that continues to be a subject of intense debate. Rose later commented, "I've been suspended over 30 years. That's a long time to be suspended for betting on your own team to win, and I was wrong, but that mistake was made." Despite several appeals, Rose has not been granted eligibility for the Baseball Hall of Fame, a ruling that has underscored the enduring effect of the scandal on his standing in the sport. He expressed his frustration, saying, "Time usually heals everything. It seems like it does in baseball, except when you talk about the Pete Rose case." Rose's achievements on the field, such as his 3 World Series titles, 1 MVP award, and 17 All-Star nominations, have been eclipsed by the scandal that brought his career in the sport he cherished to a close. As he acknowledged, "I made mistakes, but I never walked away from them. I always tried to face them head on." Jeffrey Jones, Jeffrey Jones, recognized for his distinctive roles in films such as Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Beetlejuice, experienced a significant disruption to his career in 2002 when he faced charges related to inappropriate materials involving a minor. Jones, who portrayed the high school principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Charles Dietz in Beetlejuice, was apprehended during an inquiry into Paul Reubens, popularly known as Pee Wee Herman. He was charged with hiring a 14-year-old boy to pose for sexually explicit photos and possessing child pornography. Jones managed to evade imprisonment, but he entered a no-contest plea, was given a 5-year probation sentence, had to register as a sex offender, and was mandated to receive counseling. At the time, Jones expressed, "All I want is for the truth to come out and for this matter to be resolved as quickly as possible." The scandal brought Jones's mainstream acting career to an effective halt, resulting in a marked reduction in acting opportunities. As one commentator noted, "And that was pretty much the end of Jeffrey Jones's career, pretty much." Despite his challenges, Jones did secure a role in the HBO series Deadwood and its subsequent film, but his career never fully recovered the momentum it had before the 2002 incident. Jones's legal issues persisted, with further arrests for failing to update his sex offender status in Florida in 2004 and California in 2010. The actor, once a recognizable figure in Hollywood, has mostly withdrawn from public view, with his reputation permanently marred by the scandal that interrupted his career. Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli, comprising the German-French pop duo Rob Pilatus and Fab Morvan, achieved considerable popularity in the late 1980s with their debut album, Girl, You Know It's True. Their swift ascent to fame, however, came to an abrupt end when it was discovered that the duo did not actually sing on their own recordings. The scandal surfaced in 1990 during a press conference held by their producer, Frank Farian, who disclosed that the vocals on their hit album were performed by session musicians. This disclosure resulted in Milli Vanilli being stripped of their Grammy Award for Best New Artist, marking the sole occurrence in the Recording Academy's history where an award was rescinded. The duo faced intense public mockery and multiple lawsuits from fans who felt misled. The incident also sparked significant discussions about authenticity and lip-syncing within the music industry, prompting a more rigorous evaluation of such practices. Despite their efforts to make a comeback, Milli Vanilli never recaptured their former glory. Pilatus grappled with substance abuse and passed away in 1998, leaving Morvan to consider the profound effects of their collective journey. Morvan has since discussed the scandal, recognizing the deceit and its lasting impact on his life and career. Reflecting on these 20 career-altering scandals, it's clear that fame comes with a complex mix of opportunities and pitfalls. Each story is a stark lesson in the high price of integrity and the power of public trust. What's your take? Do you think there's a path to redemption for these fallen stars? Comment OK if you're with us on this journey through the highs and lows of celebrity. And if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join the Iconic Inside community. Your engagement is the heartbeat of our channel, driving us to uncover more untold stories from the world of icons. Let's keep the dialogue alive. Top 10 hated actors of the century and why. Oh, the drama of Hollywood. Get ready to dive into the scandalous stories of the top 10 most hated actors of the century. You won't believe some of the shocking antics that have turned these stars into villains in the eyes of the public. But do they really deserve all this hate? Strap in for a wild ride through fame, controversy, and the price of stardom. This is Iconic Inside, and we're about to spill the tea on the most divisive names in film history. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson is a divisive personality in the film industry, frequently associated with his intense portrayals on screen. His professional life suffered greatly after a 2006 incident involving a drunk driving arrest where he made disparaging remarks about Jewish people to the police officer, saying, "The Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world. Are you a Jew?" This event left the public in shock, and it resulted in universal disapproval and a period of being unofficially banned from Hollywood. Following this scandal, Gibson's management of the fallout was harshly judged. He offered apologies, stating, "I acted like a person completely out of control," but many observers believed his apologies were insincere. His efforts to mend fences with the Jewish community were viewed with doubt, as his previous actions continued to cast a shadow over him. Despite the controversies, some in the entertainment world have been open to Gibson's return, especially after his 2016 movie, Hacksaw Ridge, which garnered several nominations for the Academy Awards. However, there are still those who are firmly against his re-emergence, stressing the importance of being held responsible for one's actions. Winona Ryder, who claimed Gibson had made anti-Semitic remarks in the 1990s, remarked, "I believe in redemption and forgiveness, but I am not one of them." As it stands, Gibson continues to be a contentious figure, with ongoing conversations about if his past actions should eclipse his creative work. His story mirrors the larger conversations taking place about the themes of forgiveness and responsibility within the Hollywood community. Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow is a celebrity who garners mixed responses, being seen as both attractive and controversial. She is often criticized for an image that some view as too perfect, which is felt to distance her from the common experiences of the general public. This sense of detachment is further emphasized by her lifestyle company, Goop, which is widely regarded as exclusive. Paltrow's endorsement of luxury wellness items and controversial health advice has led to her being accused of endorsing pseudoscientific practices, a stance that has been criticized by both healthcare professionals and the wider public. In her own words, she has said, "It's not meant to be advice for anybody else. It's really just what has worked for me." A statement that many find unconvincing, further cementing her image as someone who is perceived as goody two-shoes. This character is often seen as disingenuous, especially when compared to her luxurious lifestyle and the costly products offered by Goop. Her controversial product suggestions, like the use of jade eggs and rectal ozone therapy, have provoked considerable backlash. Critics argue that these recommendations prey on vulnerable consumers. Despite her efforts to establish herself as a health and wellness expert, Paltrow's reputation is marred by a number of controversies that cast a shadow over her successes. As she continues to balance her roles as an actress and businesswoman, the gap between her public image and the opinions of many is striking, highlighting the intricacies of fame in modern culture. Is Gwyneth Paltrow's perfect image a turn-off or an inspiration? Share your thoughts and comment yes if you find her relatable, or no if you think she's out of touch. Let's discuss. Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson, who rose to fame as a teen idol in the Twilight series, has faced considerable criticism in his acting career, with some even branding him as unpopular. A lot of this animosity appears to stem from envy over his rapid ascent to stardom, especially among those who feel eclipsed by his achievements. Pattinson's acting has frequently been characterized as monotonous by critics, with some viewers expressing dissatisfaction with his performances, especially when it comes to his role as Batman. Audiences have described his acting as dull and unconvincing, suggesting that his portrayals lack the energy typically expected from a leading actor. In addition, Pattinson has been criticized for his part in Twilight, with detractors accusing him of spoiling the vampire genre. His depiction of Edward Cullen has been criticized for being excessively gloomy and not living up to the romantic allure that fans had hoped for. Pattinson has been open about his unease with the franchise, famously saying, "If Edward wasn't a fictional character and you met him in reality, he is like one of those guys who would probably be an axe murderer," a remark that has not won him many fans. Furthermore, Pattinson has been seen as provoking Twilight fans by openly questioning the storyline and characters' motives. He once called the narrative bizarre and confessed that he would mindlessly detest the movies if he were not a part of them. While this self-mocking humor is appreciated by some, it has also further distanced a portion of his audience, cementing his status as a divisive figure in the entertainment industry. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, a well-known personality in the entertainment world, has attracted substantial disapproval for his depiction of African Americans in his movies. Detractors claim that his creations uphold adverse stereotypes, especially through characters that represent criminality, domestic abuse, and other distressing subjects. A case in point is his alter ego, Medea, who has been characterized as a mammy-like character, frequently partaking in unlawful actions and employing over-the-top dialects that some argue reinforce damaging views of black society. Renowned actor Idris Elba has hinted at these issues, commenting, "You gave me a role of a father, caring for his children. There was none that really depicts the same story." This underscores a disparity between Perry's creations and more affirmative portrayals of black fatherhood and family dynamics. Filmmakers like Spike Lee have criticized Perry's movies as coonery and buffoonery, arguing that they belittle black communities by perpetuating stereotypes that are often employed to rationalize systemic racism. Additionally, Perry's commercial achievements prompt inquiries about his part in capitalizing on these stereotypes. His films, although favored by some viewers, are slammed for their superficiality and their inclination to capitalize on social concerns for amusement. As indicated in numerous assessments, the recurrent themes of crime and domestic violence in his stories can be perceived as harmful, possibly impacting public views of African Americans adversely. Thus, Perry's legacy is a complicated mix of empowerment and exploitation. Loving this content, show your support with a like and a subscribe. Not impressed? A like would still be nice, and your feedback in the comments will help me create better content next time. Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen, frequently rebuked for his interpretation of Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequels, has encountered considerable disapproval throughout his professional journey. Numerous devotees of the series have characterized his acting as dry and boring, resulting in widespread accusation that he spoiled the cherished franchise. Critics have often honed in on his line delivery, perceiving it as devoid of emotional resonance. A prevalent opinion is that his portrayal appeared rigid, with one observer remarking, "He sounds like a whiny teenager," a trait that, while fitting Anakin's developmental trajectory, is said to have failed to connect with viewers. Christensen has admitted to the harsh critique, admitting, "The character was criticized, my performance was criticized, and that part sucked." This adverse response has cast a shadow over his attempts to portray a multifaceted character caught between the forces of good and evil. A considerable number of fans argue that the true flaw lies with the script and the directorial vision, rather than Christensen's acting abilities. He has defended his interpretation by suggesting that the expectations for Anakin were distorted, stressing that these characters almost become public domain, where people feel a sense of ownership over them. Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus, once cherished for her role as a child star in Hannah Montana, has evolved into a contentious pop figure, frequently reprimanded for her scandalous conduct. Echoing her aspiration to detach from her early persona, she declared, "I had to kill Hannah Montana," a statement that symbolized her break from her innocent beginnings. This transformation was characterized by audacious performances and a frank acceptance of her sexuality, actions that some interpreted as a frantic effort to abandon her previous clean-cut image. Her daring dance moves have incited considerable disapproval, especially during her notorious 2013 MTV VMA act with Robin Thicke, where her twerking was deemed unsuitable. Detractors have often commented on her rigid, unconvincing thespian skills, especially in movies like The Last Song, where her portrayal was criticized as mechanical. A critic pointed out, "Miley's acting is missing the emotional profundity required to captivate the audience." underscoring the gap between her fame and her acting proficiency. Regardless of the criticism, Cyrus persists in testing limits in both her music and live performances. While some laud her for defying societal conventions, others consider her actions as a ploy for attention. Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore, recognized for his idiotic and irritating comedic character, became prominent in the 1990s with his MTV show Totally Pauly and appearances in movies such as Encino Man, Son-in-Law and Biodome. Shore's humor, frequently labeled as immature and monotonous, revolved around his weasel character, embodying a laid-back surfer with heavy use of slang and catchphrases. While some audiences appreciated his comedic approach, others considered it crude, distasteful, and lacking in humor. Shore's fame reached its zenith in the 1990s, but his film career rapidly declined as he faced growing animosity from critics and viewers. A Reddit user remarked, "He was only famous in the first place because his mother owned the Comedy Store. It's not like he ever had real talent or value. He was a novelty and it wore off fast." Film critic Roger Ebert described Shore's performances by saying, "Shore bypasses all categories to achieve a kind of transcendent fingernails on the blackboard effect." In more recent times, Shore has attempted a resurgence, creating a YouTube channel, podcast, and touring with a one-man show. However, many believe he is still holding on to his outdated persona. Another Reddit user commented, "He still hangs on his old persona from like 30 years ago. The weasel is dead, dude." Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway, a celebrated actress recognized for her range and skill, has encountered a perplexing wave of intense online animosity, commonly called Hathahate. Even with her remarkable body of work, featuring roles in critically praised films such as Les Miserables, The Devil Wears Prada, and Interstellar, Hathaway has been subjected to unwarranted critique and ridicule from certain internet circles. The negative sentiment towards Hathaway started in the early 2010s, particularly after her co-hosting role at the 2011 Academy Awards with James Franco, which received significant criticism. The backlash grew more severe during her award season for Les Miserables in 2013, as her acceptance speeches and interviews were placed under a microscope. Some audience members perceived her displays of gratitude as bizarre or inauthentic, leading to accusations of her being too desperate for an Oscar. Hathaway's polished and flawless persona, characterized by her radiant smile and elegant figure, has been a source of discomfort for some, fostering the idea that she is out of touch with the everyday individual. In a speech at Elle's Women in Hollywood event, she shared, "10 years ago, I was given an opportunity to look at the language of hatred from a new perspective. I would no longer create art from this place, nor speak its language for any reason, to anyone, including myself." The Hathahate trend even impacted Hathaway's professional opportunities, as she disclosed in a recent conversation with Vanity Fair. "Numerous individuals were hesitant to offer me roles due to their apprehension about the toxicity associated with my online persona. It was the backing of director Christopher Nolan, who selected her for Interstellar, that allowed Hathaway's career to keep moving forward during this difficult time." And Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf, recognized for his unpredictable conduct and contentious capers, has evolved from a potential-laden youth performer into an enigmatic performance artist in the last 10 years. LaBeouf, who gained notoriety on the Disney Channel program Even Stevens, has been subject to reproach for his perceived insolence and self-importance, with events spanning from legal troubles to allegations of plagiarism. In 2013, LaBeouf debuted a brief film, Howard Cantor, which was found by spectators to be a duplicated representation of a narrative by Daniel Clowes. LaBeouf offered an apology through Twitter but persisted in employing uncredited quotations in his posts. He later characterized this episode as pivotal in steering him toward performance art, asserting, "The concept of the star could evolve into a principal platform for the development of innovative positions whose sincerity might foster a more gratifying form of emotional impact." LaBeouf's approach to method acting has likewise resulted in conflicts on film locations. During the production of Lawless, his interactions with fellow actress Mia Wasikowska were so challenging that she contemplated leaving the project. His deep immersion into his role on the set of Fury also led to a trying atmosphere for the crew. In 2017, LaBeouf was apprehended in Savannah, Georgia, charged with disorderly conduct, obstruction, and public drunkenness as he sought a cigarette from a passerby. A video capturing a string of expletives and racially offensive remarks directed at the police went viral, which led LaBeouf to issue a formal apology on Twitter. He described the event as a new low and pledged to work towards sobriety. Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart, celebrated for her performances in the Twilight franchise and a variety of independent cinema, has consistently encountered harsh scrutiny throughout her professional journey. Critics have often belittled her acting skills, labeling her portrayals as rigid and emotionless. Her interpretation of Bella Swan in the Twilight series especially has drawn considerable disfavor, with detractors asserting that she failed to display the character's emotional spectrum convincingly. The critiques of Stewart's acting prowess have been further exacerbated by her off-screen demeanor. She is frequently characterized as being ill at ease and reticent during interviews, frequently seeming disengaged and uninterested. This has prompted speculation that her screen presence might be a mere reflection of her genuine disposition. Beyond her acting and media interactions, Stewart has also been criticized for her private life. In 2012, she openly confessed to an affair with Rupert Sanders, the director of Snow White and the Huntsman, while she was in a relationship with Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson. This public scandal, which was widely covered in the media, further tarnished her public perception and standing. Hey, Iconic Inside fam, we've journeyed through the highs and lows of some of Hollywood's most controversial names. But here's the thing, not all hate is justified. So we're throwing it back to you. Who do you think is a misunderstood gem in the rough? Hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to join the conversation. Let's keep the dialogue going and celebrate the unsung heroes of the silver screen. Why everyone hates Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise's controversial antics and perplexing beliefs have made him a polarizing figure in Hollywood, with many stars outright despising him. His over-the-top behavior and unapologetic dedication to Scientology have led several A-listers to publicly sever ties with him. Let's expose the high-profile celebrities who can't stand Tom Cruise and refuse to work with him again. Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise were a prominent duo in the entertainment industry until their unexpected and profound separation, which significantly impacted Nicole Kidman's life. The announcement of their split was not only surprising to the public but also to Nicole Kidman, who received the news suddenly. Tom Cruise disclosed the separation to the media with the vague statement, "Nicole knows why." Contrary to this statement, she was unaware of the reason. There has been widespread speculation that the cause was related to Tom Cruise's involvement with Scientology. Although he and the organization have refuted these claims, the split permanently changed her connection with her children. Following the division, her children remained in Los Angeles with their father, while Nicole Kidman returned to Australia, leading to a strained relationship with them. This estrangement was evident as Nicole was notably absent from her adopted children's weddings, with one child specifically not inviting her at Tom Cruise's behest. It's understated to say that Nicole Kidman harbors deep resentment towards Tom Cruise. Katie Holmes. Following his marriage with Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise tied the knot with Katie Holmes, only for their union to end in a similar dissolution. However, this time, Katie Holmes took control of the situation. She meticulously orchestrated the divorce over several months, severing ties with any member of her entourage whom she suspected of having allegiance to Tom Cruise. In her careful planning, she secured a new, undisclosed apartment as a safe haven for herself and her daughter. When everything was set, she used a burner phone to break the news to Tom Cruise. People close to the couple have indicated that he was dumbfounded for days following the revelation. The divorce proceedings ensued, with Katie Holmes being awarded custody of their daughter. Years down the line, insiders suggest that the two have not reconciled. Rumors persist that Tom Cruise has felt a profound sense of betrayal and abandonment following Katie's departure. Conversely, Katie Holmes seemingly harbors no fondness for Tom Cruise, possibly detesting him for what she perceives as him sapping her vitality. John Travolta. John Travolta's animosity towards Tom Cruise is unrivaled, stemming from deep-seated envy and resentment. Both actors are high-profile figures within the Church of Scientology, with John Travolta having been a part of the organization since 1975 and swiftly climbing its ranks. He was considered one of its most influential members, if not the most, for over a decade, until Mimi Rogers introduced her then-husband Tom Cruise to the church. Following his breakthrough role in Top Gun, Tom Cruise not only captivated audiences worldwide, but also quickly became a leading figure within Scientology. This shift led to John Travolta's openly expressed jealousy towards Tom Cruise, culminating in Travolta sending a fervently critical letter to the church's president after Cruise received the Freedom Medal of Valor, a distinction Travolta believed he was more worthy of. Travolta's dissatisfaction with Cruise's prominence in the church is a sentiment echoed by other members, with many voicing agreement with Travolta's perspective. Kirstie Alley. Tom Cruise and Kirstie Alley, despite sharing the same faith, demonstrated that this does not necessarily mean they share a liking for one another. It was Leah Remini, a vocal critic of Cruise, who suggested in her book the possibility of a rift between Kirstie Alley and Tom Cruise. This was a surprise, as no one had previously thought them to be at odds. In a situation where tabloids were accusing Cruise of holding auditions for a romantic partner, Kirstie Alley came to his aid. She disputed these claims and advised that journalists should have directly approached Cruise for his version of events instead of relying on hearsay. This, she believed, would have led them to the truth. Nevertheless, Leah Remini disclosed in her book that she had heard rumors of Cruise's dislike for both Kirstie Alley and John Travolta. Following Kirstie Alley's death, suspicions about their strained relationship gained traction, especially since Tom Cruise remained silent during this period. While numerous tributes poured in for the late actress, Cruise refrained from commenting, adding to the speculation. Leah Remini. Leah Remini has been notably vocal about her disdain for the Church of Scientology and Tom Cruise in particular. She has repeatedly made her negative opinions about the actor known, seizing any opportunity to express her discontent. For instance, amidst the widespread acclaim for Top Gun: Maverick and its credited role in revitalizing the film industry, Leah Remini took to social media. She aimed to remind everyone of the purported harm caused by the film's leading actor and the secretive nature of his religious affiliation. Remini shared a TikTok on her social platforms that criticized Tom Cruise, suggesting that his public persona is merely an act. Furthermore, she commented on a widely circulated incident where Cruise was recorded shouting at crew members for not adhering to COVID-19 safety measures on set. Remini argued that his concern for health protocols was insincere and speculated that he might have intentionally leaked the footage to curry favor online. She has made bold claims about the actor and the church harboring numerous secrets, portraying their public images as carefully constructed facades. The Church of Scientology has retaliated by publicly denouncing her behavior as obsessive. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Alec Baldwin. When Alec Baldwin openly criticized Tom Cruise, it caught many off guard. Speaking at Elle magazine's annual Women in Hollywood event, Baldwin touched upon the enduring issue of Hollywood's gender pay disparity. He suggested that if Tom Cruise were to reduce his asking price by $29 million, it could significantly help to address this inequality. Baldwin clarified that he wasn't looking to blame this issue entirely on one individual, but if he had to choose someone, it would be Tom Cruise. He highlighted the vast difference in their earnings by humorously comparing his own pay to the cost of Altoids in the context of one of Cruise's blockbuster films. Despite Baldwin's pointed remarks, there didn't seem to be any lasting professional tension between him and Cruise. They both featured in the 2018 film Mission: Impossible – Fallout, where the only setbacks reported on set were related to physical injuries they experienced, rather than any personal conflicts. David Miscavige. David Miscavige holds immense power, positioning him among the world's most influential figures. Starting a quarrel with him is generally seen as a bad idea. Currently, his relationship with Tom Cruise is notably strong, verging on a brotherly bond. However, their friendship didn't start without its tensions, especially when Cruise inadvertently disrespected the Scientology leader. This friction arose during an illustrious party organized by David Miscavige to welcome a new church member. Miscavige had even arranged for L. Ron Hubbard's personal chef to cater the event, held at a lavish pool setting. Nonetheless, the celebratory atmosphere dampened when Tom Cruise arrived 4 hours later than planned, as recalled by Miscavige's father, Ron Miscavige. David Miscavige's irritation was palpable, not only due to Cruise's late arrival, but also because Cruise excused himself to sleep without partaking in the dinner. Fortunately, this initial misunderstanding was resolved shortly after when Cruise and Miscavige bonded over a ski hunting trip. Mickey Rourke. In a candid interview with Piers Morgan, Mickey Rourke didn't hold back on expressing his profound aversion for Tom Cruise. Rourke's feelings came to light when he was asked about his thoughts on Cruise's Top Gun Maverick dominating the box office and achieving major success. Rourke was dismissive, indicating such accomplishments hold no value to him. Rourke's critique of Cruise went deeper as he admitted to not only being indifferent about Cruise, but also lacking respect for him. He criticized Cruise for essentially portraying the same role for over 3 decades. Rourke emphasized his admiration for actors who push the boundaries of their craft, naming industry legends like Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro, despite having had disagreements with De Niro in the past. Judd Apatow. Judd Apatow, hailed as one of Hollywood's top comedic writers, has collaborated with numerous major stars throughout his career. However, Tom Cruise is likely someone he won't be working with anytime soon. At the Directors Guild of America, where hosts often poke fun at the attendees, Apatow's monologue took aim at Cruise with such intensity that it left some wondering if there was a personal grudge involved. Apatow began by joking about Cruise's height and didn't stop there. He referenced some of Cruise's most notorious moments, including the infamous couch-jumping incident. Apatow then delved into more sensitive topics, criticizing Cruise's parenting issues and his outspoken stance against antidepressants. He even suggested that Cruise should take a break from doing his own stunts, quipping that a 60-year-old Cruise might be less inclined to jump off mountains if he were on antidepressants. Apatow didn't shy away from questioning whether Cruise's affiliation with Scientology was what enabled him to perform such daring feats at his age. These pointed comments made it evident that Judd Apatow harbors significant animosity toward Tom Cruise. Mark Wahlberg. In an interview, Mark Wahlberg directly addressed comments associated with Tom Cruise concerning the hardships of being away from his children during shooting, which were likened to being on military duty overseas, specifically comparing it to serving in Afghanistan. Wahlberg was deeply offended by this comparison and didn't hesitate to voice his disapproval. He made it clear that regardless of any intensive training an actor might undergo for a role, it pales in comparison to the real challenges faced by Navy SEALs. Wahlberg criticized the audacity of making such claims whilst comfortably preparing for scenes in a makeup chair. He further argued that actors who can retreat to their hotels after a day's work should refrain from drawing such parallels. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Nazanin Boniadi. The experience Nazanin Boniadi had with the Church of Scientology was far from positive. She was allegedly presented to Tom Cruise as a partner following his separation from Nicole Kidman. The pairing was confusing for both, but they attempted to make it work in order to appease the church. It wasn't long before Boniadi realized that Cruise's loyalty to the church surpassed everything else. During a particularly distressing episode, Boniadi suffered a severe migraine that hampered her ability to process instructions from the church's leader, which enraged Cruise. In a fit of anger, Cruise confronted her aggressively, screaming in her face, then further intensified the moment by punching a desk while maintaining eye contact. Weeks later, through a church intermediary, Boniadi was informed that her relationship with Cruise was over and she needed to move on. Given these circumstances, it's understandable if Boniadi harbors negative feelings towards Cruise. Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer, renowned for his tenure at NBC and interviewing prominent personalities, had a notably contentious live interview with Tom Cruise. This exchange took place during Cruise's challenging promotional tour for War of the Worlds. By the time Cruise was scheduled to speak with Lauer, it was evident that Lauer was not inclined to ease through the interview. The conversation initially seemed routine, focusing on the movie. However, Lauer unexpectedly shifted gears, probing into sensitive topics such as Scientology and Cruise's relationship with Katie Holmes, which he insinuated might be a facade for publicity. Taken aback, Cruise visibly bristled, accusing Lauer of being glib and uninformed. Despite Lauer's persistent challenge throughout the interview, Cruise managed to keep his composure, defending his position and maintaining a semblance of control, even when the topic touched on matters close to his heart, like his son's rights. Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, both equally celebrated for their acting prowess and fame, encountered friction when they co-starred in Interview with the Vampire. The collaboration was fraught with high expectations for both. Cruise faced skepticism from the novel's author about his suitability for the role, while Pitt grappled with the pressure of sharing the screen with an actor of Cruise's caliber. Compounded by his dissatisfaction with the grim content and demanding filming conditions, Pitt experienced considerable unease and rivalry on set. Pitt perceived his character as less compelling compared to Cruise's, often feeling sidelined during production. The dynamic between them was competitive, contributing to an atmosphere of tension. Pitt metaphorically described their relationship as going in opposite directions, with Cruise heading north as he went south. Following their collaboration on this film, Pitt and Cruise have not worked together again. Pitt's sentiments towards Cruise seem to bear a tint of animosity, with rumors circulating that Pitt has labeled Cruise as completely insane. Brooke Shields and Tom Cruise, who were once friends and former co-stars, enjoyed a good rapport. However, Cruise's willingness to share his unsolicited opinions publicly led to tension between them. Shields' discussion of her use of medication to combat postpartum depression during a national television appearance sparked controversy with Cruise. He launched into a significant critique, implying that Shields was not well informed about the medication she advocated for, asserting that he had more knowledge on the subject. Shields, taken aback by his remarks, retorted by suggesting that Cruise should focus on his cinematic endeavors, specifically referencing his role in the 2005 movie War of the Worlds as a humorous comeback. Recognizing the error in his ways, Cruise eventually sought to mend fences. He personally visited Shields at her home to offer an apology for his earlier comments. Shields found his apology sincere enough to move past the incident and forgive him. Justin Bieber proposed a fight against Tom Cruise in 2019, sparking a viral tweet that caught attention. He challenged the actor to a match, suggesting that failure to respond would imply fear. Bieber even tagged Dana White, the UFC president, to host the hypothetical fight. However, Cruise remained silent, and Bieber later clarified his intentions during an interview with James Corden. He revealed that his tweet was inspired by a recent interview with Cruise and was not meant to be taken seriously. Despite this, Bieber expressed confidence in his hypothetical fighting abilities, claiming he would emerge victorious if they were to face off in the ring. The reason behind his animosity towards Cruise remains unclear. In the captivating world of celebrity controversies, Tom Cruise's interactions and conflicts spark a wide range of opinions. From disagreements with co-stars to public disputes, his actions have certainly made waves, but what's your stance on this? If you believe the backlash against Cruise is warranted, drop a yes in the comments. If not, we want to hear your no. Share your views and don't shy away from sparking a discussion. Remember to like and subscribe to Iconic Inside for more engaging content on the highs and lows of celebrity life. Let's get the conversation started. Comment now